So I've decided to start using video rather than text sometimes, since you guys don't read. And the first thing I'm going to talk about is Kevin Durant and his decision to move from OKC to the Golden State Warriors. Ladies, I'm quite sorry. This is not going to be of much interest to you. Well, it's going to be of some interest to some ladies that I know that watch basketball. God bless you. God bless all of you. Anyways, so here's the thing about Kevin Durant. I'm hearing talk about how this is the weakest decision ever made by a superstar, or I don't know whether this is perhaps going to be something that's going to have a negative impact on his legacy or whatever. Now, the only possibility uh, under which I'll say that this might be true is if Kevin Durant never wins anything. Okay, then people will say he even left OKC to go to the Golden State Warriors. Um, you know, he's a failure all over. All right, same as if LeBron James had gone to Miami and never won anything, obviously would be sitting here thinking about how he's the most overrated superstar of all times or whatever. Okay, so that might happen. It might even happen if Kevin Durant wins in Golden State and is never a Finals MVP, for example. Now, people might be obviously people wouldn't remember him as the legend that he had the potential to become had he stayed in OKC. Outside of that, now if Kevin Durant wins and he's the MVP, say Kevin Durant three-peats, okay, he three-peats and he's a three times Final MVP. 3 years from now, are we seriously going to be sitting here discussing the fact that Kevin Durant is an all-time great? Are we really going to be sitting here wondering whether or not Kevin Durant is a legend? I don't think so. There's a few things that people get wrong about the Kevin Durant situation and about his decision. First of all, we're in July, okay? Championships are won in June of the next year. All right. So whatever decision you might make right now is not really it's not really going to have an impact about on what's going to happen the next year. Like, I mean, he still has a year. Kevin Durant, he's still gonna have to struggle for a year. He's still gonna have to fight for. First of all, forget about the competition. He's gonna have to fight to find his place in that Golden State setup. He has a year to do that. It's a hard thing to do. He's gonna have to figure out a way to play with Stephen Curry. He's gonna have to figure out a way to adapt to other teammates, something he's never had to do in his career, and that's very tough to do, obviously, for a superstar. That's the first thing. Second of all, then you mentioned the competition. Everybody in the West is getting stronger. I'm not sure we've ever seen a competition as hard as the Western Conference looks right now. And even if he goes to the finals, listen, whoever he meets there, if he meets LeBron James there, it's not going to be easy. When you win, you win. All right, it's never easy. Had the Western All-Star team, all right, decided to play together and compete for an NBA championship, I cannot sit here and tell you that they would have won. Winning is hard. So that's the first thing. The second thing that people get wrong is when it comes to these decisions, you don't see a superstar leave their team to go to a team that's got less of a chance to compete than another team. You don't see that happen. You either see superstars stay put and put pressure on their management to do everything, to put everything around them to put them in a position to win, or you see them leave for the best possible chance that they have to win. Something that we've seen Shaq do, we've seen Gary Payton do, we've seen Karl Malone do, we've seen a few of them do, still Steve Nash do, etc. Okay, you don't leave. The only one example of a player that I know who left a championship caliber team to go to a team in which he had no chance or very few chances of winning at the time of his signing. The only guy that I've seen do that is LeBron James, who obviously went to a team that was among the worst teams in the NBA and went to the NBA Finals twice in a row afterwards and won once after that. LeBron James, all right, the same guy who, after everything he's been able to accomplish in the game, still has his critics, who, after everything that he's been able to accomplish in the game, is still denied by many a place in even a top 10. LeBron James, the same guy who, when he went to Miami, had to hear all that talk about what was it already? You know, he's not competitive. He should be playing against the competition, not with it. Listen, you leave the place where you've played for 5 years in the NBA, you go to the best possible situation to win. Now, I think what people are saying is maybe there hasn't been another situation in the history of the NBA when you have a team that strong that's able to incorporate someone with the talent of Kevin Durant. That that's probably something that's new. But for Kevin Durant to sign to another place and say it's maybe I don't know, it's gonna be harder to win here. What sense does that make? That's foolish. That's just foolish because people only remember wins. If Kevin Durant does the same things that he's been doing for the past 5 years in OKC, if he does that all over for the next 5 or 10 years, and he doesn't win a ring, nobody's gonna care. Nobody's gonna care. And to be honest, he's not the one that came up with that system. The fans are the ones that came up with that system. People keep reminding everybody that Kobe Bryant has 5 rings. They don't care about how he won them. Obviously, because if we have a conversation, he's a 2-time final MVP. If we have a conversation about how Kobe Bryant won his MVPs, it's a different business. Won his finals or won his titles, sorry, it's a different business. People don't care about that. People only care about the fact that you've got 5 rings. People, when they mention Michael Jordan, they worry about the fact that he's got 6 rings. When they talk about Charles Barkley was a fabulous player. John Stockton, fabulous player. Karl Malone, fabulous player. The only thing people used to mention about LeBron James is in Cleveland, despite the fact that he'd taken them to the finals in 2007. The only thing people mention about you is you don't have a ring. So your responsibility as a superstar, if you want to cement your place in history, is to go to the best possible situation to win an NBA title, which is what Kevin Durant has done. Now, the challenge Kevin Durant has, in his hand right now is the same exact challenge they would have had anywhere else. If he doesn't win, and if he is not the main man, he's not going to be remembered as an NBA legend. But that's the same thing in OKC. If Kevin Durant had won in OKC and Russell Westbrook had won the Finals MVP, for example, everybody would have been like, Kevin Durant, yeah, nice guy, fabulous scorer, but nobody would remember him as a legend. Kevin Durant, he shouldn't listen to any of the talk. He should actually take good note of what happened to LeBron James. Went to Miami, became public enemy number 1, and he was only successful when he decided to do him and to kind of be selfish. Kevin Durant, his father, is totally right. He was at a situation in his career during which he was supposed to do 2 things. Be selfish, put himself in the best possible situation to accomplish his objectives. You would have done the exact same in his position, and if you hadn't, you would have taken the most serious of risks with your legacy, which I don't know why you would do. But listening to that Stephen A. Smith talk about how, this is the weakest move he's seen from a superstar. The weakest move you see from a superstar is not winning. And the best move from a superstar is winning. So we'll judge Kevin Durant next July and the July after that. And we'll judge whether he's been able to create a legacy of winning and of winning big. And that's all that matters.